Commissioners meeting Wednesday, November 18, 2021 p.m. Zoom teleconference meeting. The executive order of remote participation by Governor Baker on Thursday, March 12, 2020, suspending the provisions of the open meeting law. I hereby call the meeting to order. Roll call, Commissioner Collins.
Present.
Commissioner Shea.
Present.
Commissioner O'Brien. Present. Minutes of the open meeting of November 10th, 2020 for approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the meeting of November 10th, 2020.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. The motion made, seconded to approve the open meeting minutes of November 10th, 2020 for approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. Thank you. Is there any public comment?
Mr. Chairman, I have one. I just want to recognize Commissioner-elect Stady is at our meeting, and I want to welcome him. He's certainly no rookie to all of this, but
Thank you, Commissioner.
I just want to reach out and say hello.
Hey, Dick.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Commissioner. Hi, Commissioners. Very pleased to be here. I've got big shoes to fill. Honored to be a member of this team and looking forward to it. I'm just observing, but great. Looking forward to it.
It's good to have you aboard.
Thank you.
And hope we have a good 4 years together.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you very much. I'll do my best.
Capital improvement report.
Yes, Commissioner.
John McGowan.
Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
I don't have much to report today. We're still working on the plexiglass installation throughout the county, but we finished up Rentham Court is all complete as far as everything that everybody wanted done is done. We still have Superior Court to do with the new Chief Justice wants an additional panels put up. But what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the hardware that we ordered from the company that we were used to install the clips. They make a neater job, and it's a much better job. Well, I think they'll be in the end of this week, and then we'll be able to start taking care of these little callback jobs that we need to do, which is Superior and Brookline. And we have some other issues down in Quincy that Arthur wanted to have taken care of too. I mean, I know I told you that this would probably happen. As they get used to the surroundings, they find that they want something else done, which we have no problem doing it. We have the material, and we'll be able to take care of it. We had the sidewalk. I talked to Joe Flanagan a couple of weeks ago about having a sidewalk on Ames Street, the one we've been trying to get done for about 3 or 4 years. We finally got it completed last week, and it came out great. It helps us with our area coming in and out of the parking lot. They put all new ramps in there, which is good. And we're still working on the daily stuff all the time, every day. And that's about it. I don't have much else going on.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Collins, any comments?
Nice job, John.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Shea.
I do have a question, John. Last week you brought that to our attention, and I'm looking at it on my phone here, that antenna and little pillbox that's in front of the registry of deeds, for lack of a better word. Have you heard any more? I do agree it's unsightly, especially in front of that great historic building. But I don't know if you had any update on that.
I haven't had an update on it, but I since I talked to you, I've talked to Joe Flanagan, who told me that I think it's the chairman for the town of Dedham named McDonald, I think it is. He called him up about it, and he's looking into, I believe he's looking into ways of moving it or relocating it away from the front of the stairs in both areas too. It's in front of district court too. Hopefully I'll get an answer from him. I haven't got an answer yet. I don't know, maybe the director can find out a little bit more than I can. I'm not sure whether he can.
No, I think that's all right, as long as we're going in the right direction. I mean, you know, if we can accommodate it behind a bush or something, I really, I mean,
Yeah,
I just,
I mean,
it's
any other
unfortunate.
location would be better than where it is.
Yes, correct. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner. Yep. Thank you.
Do you have any comment, Director Mullen?
No, I don't have anything to add other than I've also been in touch with Joe Flanagan, again with John Sisson, who is the Economic Development Director for the town. You know, I mean, and in my conversations, especially with John Sisson, he did mention that in order to move the pole, in the box, obviously that involves like a cost to the town, and he would bring that before their board of selectmen, and have them talk about it as well.
Well, I also, when I had a good look at the both of the things, I don't think it's really a big deal. And if I think it's going to stay there, I don't think they're going to move it. And in the meantime, the Mother Brook Community Art Corporation, which is in the town, I understand that they had told the Board of Selectmen that they will probably put a nice art picture of the Golden Dome and the registry on the box, so it won't be just white and whatnot. But anyhow, we'll take it as we find it as we go along, I guess. 115 is, do we have the appointment here, Director Mullen? Is he on the phone?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do have Kaya Savasta. And she is from a CSS Architects. And I believe if you're ready,
before that, do we have a Scott on there?
Yes, we do. He is here as well.
Let's hear from Scott first. First of all, Scott, I understand that you're representing child court and that you have been constantly at meetings with Director Mullen and with Superintendent John McGowan. And from what my understanding is that you've been a tremendous person for the job, and cooperation has been fantastic with the trial court and with the Norfolk County and the judges. And I just want to say thank you for all you've been doing and moving ahead during this pandemic. So I'd like to have you probably say a couple of words at this time, Scott.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. It's been a pleasure working with both John and Mike. The cooperation has been outstanding, going both ways. You got a couple of good employees there that no matter what the issues were, they're willing to go over and above to help, assist, what was needed. They were always on hand to help us out. And anything that we can do in the future, we're more than willing to help out just to keep the courts operating in a safe environment. I mean, that I think is our common goal. But it really has been a pleasure working with Mike, John, and all the staff in Norfolk County.
Thank you very much, Scott. Commissioner Collins, wish to say anything?
Again, nice job.
Okay, Commissioner Shea?
No, I'm all set. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Great to meet you.
And thank you again, Scott. And Director Mullen, do you want to follow up?
Yeah, no, I just want to echo, everything on our end that Scott mentioned from his end. Like everything we do in our court buildings, is a partnership with the trial court. And, and there really needs and always has to be, a synergy between both of our offices. And we have that, we have that with the trial court, and we have that especially with Scott, and like in everyone in his office, like in all of the regional people. So, in all honesty, we wouldn't have been able to survive, and I would have probably had to rip, oh, you know, oh, like all the hair I have left out, like over the last 7 or 8 months. Like if it wasn't for our work with Scott, in the back and forth, phone calls and emails, like as tough as it's been, like it's really, really been a pleasure. And I think, more broadly too, it's really helped really build a better relationship. In terms of our relationship with the county, and the trial court, and hopefully vice versa as well. So, I really thank Scott, and everyone at the trial court for their continued efforts with us as well.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Director Mullen. And again, Scott, thank you very much for your cooperation. And I'm sure that the county will cooperate with you at all times to make sure that the system works good. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's 1:15. Director Mullen, do we have K.J. Sylvester?
Yes, as I mentioned a few moments ago, we have Kaya Savasta. And she's a principal or a partner at CSS Architects. And we engaged CSS in the spring after we went to DCAM, and got approval for like an updated house doctor contract. As you know from our work, with the advisory board last year, we got approval as part of a 1.5 million bond authorization, to really look at the dome, in the roof of the Superior Court, and hopefully work to address that. So I believe since the beginning of May, we've been working with CSS, and they have gone through and performed an analysis, which I would invite Kaya to present to us.
Hi. Thank you, Mike. Kaya Savasta, CSS Architects. And like Mike said, we were contacted last spring. We visited the dome over the summer, and we hired a water mitigation consultant to get a lift and a contractor to go up and do investigation of the dome and water testing of the dome. So basically they looked at all components of the dome from the very top of the crown down, the dome, the colonnade, and the granite base of the dome. So they basically water tested and looked, the study is included in the report is included in the study. So we received the study September 21st from BEA. And then we proceeded with trying to determine the proper materials and methods to repair the dome. We called in a coatings specialist from the writer group, Larry Mitkus, and he had a contractor that he brought in that's done similar work. So they were able to recommend a product, which we again included in the study. It's a coating product that also can spin over and repair small cracks or breaks in the copper. It is like a flashing tape, and we're not exactly sure how much will be done with the membrane, but the whole dome would be coated, and also the colonnade. And we'd put new roofing on any flat surfaces and tie into the coating system. So the dome, you could tell it's in very poor condition as far as the coatings or the paint that was applied a few years ago, well, probably like 10 years ago, is badly peeling. And when they did the water testing, they could see where there were certain areas where the water was coming in the copper dome because of open seams or deterioration of the copper at corners and at areas where it's flashed. There's also some penetrations that need to be closed up. And also they did water testing of the granite base. The granite base, the mortar joints are badly deteriorated. So the whole granite octagonal base would need to be repointed. I think we have a fairly good idea of how to proceed with the construction documents now. And we did include a cost estimate based on the recommendation of the coatings. So that the big part of the cost is obviously the scaffolding. The whole dome would have to be scaffolded. And then we would have to remove most of the paint that is on the dome and the colonnade to get a proper seal for the coatings. The preparation obviously is the most important part. That will be the most difficult part, because once that's done, you're going to see all the areas that very clearly that are deteriorated in the copper. And that's why we have to remove it, so we can actually see what's going on. So we would prepare the construction documents, and we would probably put in some unit costs for items that might be above and beyond what we carry in the base bid. I don't want to include too much as far as repair work, because we don't really know. So we would include a certain amount of square footage, I guess, of repair work, and then unit costs. We also recommend that the clear story in back of the dome, the windows, that on both sides, east and west, be also coated in the same method as the dome, because that is also badly peeling. All the paint is peeling off of that. So we would recommend doing that, and that could be done as an alternate in the bid documents, just in case, you know, we don't know where the money is, if it's going to come in above or below what we estimate. It all depends on the economic climate and how busy people are at the time and who's bidding. So we'd like to be on the safe side and just put some alternates. Like, that would be one alternate. I don't think there'd be another alternate. So in the end, you should get about at least a 20-year lifetime, if not longer, on this coating system. So that's what we're shooting for, at least 20 years. And that's why the prep is so important. If the prep's not done right, and you're just coat over something that's going to pull away in the future, it's just not going to last as long. So we really want to get down and remove most of the coatings from that dome and the colonnade. So So this work has to be done when the weather's a little warmer, can't be done over the winter. It's temperature sensitive. Has to be 40 degrees and rising. So it would probably be, we would prepare the documents, get it out to bid as soon as possible, and probably start the work in April. But that would be the
Okay. Thank you very much for that thorough report. And as you know, it's a beautiful building, a historic building, and whatever we have to do it to make sure it's in great shape. That dome is something that's looked upon by a lot of people. Commissioner Collins, any comments, suggestions?
No comments. Nice job.
All right. Commissioner Shea?
No, just echo what you say, Mr. Chairman. I'm both that building and the registry. It's always been so precious, and with all the money that we're going into downtown Dedham and everything around there, we don't want to spare any expense. Having said that, we got to go by the bid laws anyway, so we'll get to it in the spring. And it's a great building, and they don't build them like that anymore.
That's right. All right, thank you very much, Commissioner, and thank you very much for the report. We look forward to working with you in the future days, sometime around April.
very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank
you for being
Thank you, Kaya.
Thank you, Kaya.
All business, nothing. Personnel matters, we have one from the Aggie School. The chair will wait a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the notice of appointment at the Aggie School for a physical ed and health instructor, effective 11/19/20.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded to accept the blue papers as stated by Commissioner Shea for the Aggie School, approved by the superintendent. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. The chair will await a motion for the payroll and expense warrants for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to make a motion, four-part motion as follows, that we approve county expense warrant 11/03/21 in the amount of $10,814.85. The second one is the county weekly payroll in the amount of $143,155.62. The third one is agricultural school expense warrant in the amount of $244,290.52. And the agricultural school weekly payroll, the amount of $227,797.03. That is the motion.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded to approve the payroll and expense warrants for approval, November 17, 2020, as presented by Commissioner Shea. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? There's a vote. Thank you. Bid openings, we have none. Contracts award, Nancy Rockwell.
Yes, just one moment, Mr. Chair.
Hi, Nance.
Hi, Commissioner Collins. How are you? Good
I'm
afternoon,
good,
everyone.
thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I sent out yesterday afternoon a memorandum regarding these are the contracts for the snow plowing for the Dedham complex and outlying courthouses. I received quotes from, these are all from our present vendors. This snow plowing is not subject to the bidding laws. And it's recommended that we receive quotes from Royal Tree for both Dedham, the Dedham complex, and Brookline District Court, and from Cacciatore for Quincy Court, Knight Corporation for Stoughton, and James J. Foley doing business as Reds for Rentham Court. They're doing a price comparison with the pricing submitted by them 2 years ago. For the past 2 years, it's been very low price increase, really almost negligible. We've had no problems with their services. They've been very prompt to our needs, getting everything in line for the 7 a.m. that we require for every line in the parking lot to appear. So I would recommend to award a contract to each of the 5 I just mentioned. It'll be for 2 years, then we would be getting pricing again in the future.
Thank you. What is the wish of the commissioners?
One question, Mr. Chairman. So we have we have 4 vendors for all of our courts, correct?
Yes.
Is John on the line?
Yes, yes, Commissioner.
If something were to happen to one of these vendors or that a particular bad storm or something, can you substitute one for the other?
Yeah, I'd just have one of them go over and take care of the other courthouse.
That's my question. That's
Yes.
good. And we've worked with all these people, right?
Oh, yeah, they're very cooperative with us. They go out of their way to do a good job.
Yeah, I'm familiar with one of them. That does a lot of work in Quincy, but that's good. I have no other questions. And if, we better get it approved because it might snow.
All right. The chairman will wait a motion, Commissioner.
Okay. I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the quotes for the snow plowing and snow removal for the period of 2 years in all of our courthouses.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded to approve for a 2-year period for the courthouses of Brookline, Quincy, Stoughton, and Rentham and Dedham courthouses. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. The report of the manager of the administration and budgets, Phil, please.
Hi, afternoon. Can everybody hear me?
Good afternoon, Phil.
Okay, good. So I guess you can hear me. Don't trust technology all the time. So I last presented this report back in February. So we've all gone through a lot in that time. It's really good to be back, and just thanks to the commissioners for helping us get through these last 9 or so months. So I recently prepared and mailed election certification materials for the county commissioner and treasurer races to the 28 clerks in Norfolk County. I mailed them out on October 30th. These materials include specifically labeled return envelopes for the commissioner and treasurer, vote certification certificates, and vote tabulation sheets for the county commissioner and treasurer. These clerk certifications are due today, but to date, we've only received certifications from 6 towns in the county. This is usually the case, so I need to track down the results and obtain them over email. So tomorrow I will begin contacting clerks that did not return the results. And once returned, I tally the votes and present them for review by the Board of Examiners for each office. For the county commissioner, the Board of Examiners is the register of probate, a probate judge, and the clerk of courts. And for the treasurer, the Board of Examiners is the county commissioners. The Board of Examiners meets in December and reviews the tally of votes and certifies the elections if accurate. Due to coronavirus, I don't foresee us having in-person meetings. And for the commissioners, for the Board of Examiners to certify the commissioners, I have a call into the register of probate to arrange for certification, which will most likely require me just dropping off the forms and them having some sort of an internal meeting down there at the probate court. So also I'm working on the FY20 court rental, and to date I've completed the personnel, equipment purchases, contractual services, repair and maintenance of buildings and land, housekeeping, travel, utilities, and debt service. I'm going through reserves on all these now. But of note is I'm going to have to cross-reference this year's report with the county's FEMA, MEMA, and CARES Act reimbursements, so we're not double submitting items. I still have to do employee benefits, capital, and insurance. And another item is back in July, the commissioners approved the county assessment, and the first payment was due on 11/1/2020. And as cities and towns prepared to send their first half payment for the county for the assessment, several reached out to me as they unfortunately misplaced their invoices. So I just simply emailed them copies of their assessment letters. And as noted, the first payment was due on November 1st, and the second payment is due May 1st, 2021. And it seems right now towns are making timely payments. And I'm also getting ready for the Infinite Visions Best Practices training coming up in December. And I have some questions and topics that would help me, and I'm looking forward to getting some answers from them and some additional training. And our last budget, I'll let this ambulance pass by. Our last budget sense training was over 8 years ago, so this exercise will be very helpful to anyone who uses budget sense. And I'm working on the FY20 annual report. I've received materials from departments and I'm laying them out. And I'm also converting documents received into a usable format with MS Publisher and updating figures for FY20. And I'm getting materials ready in anticipation for the county's FY20 audit and operational analysis. I look forward to the needs list, and I have a good amount of materials ready to go. I reviewed our budget books and made sure they are in good order. And just, I believe, late last week, I completed the draft of the 1028 FinCom minutes, and I'm currently working on the 1028 Advisory Board minutes. I also drafted the FY21 supplemental appropriation that was approved on 1028. And this morning I started working on the FY21 second supplemental appropriation for December Advisory Board meeting. And two more things. I reviewed the quarterly expense report and highlighted accounts for the director's review and or attention. And finally, I completed the July, August, September unemployment and medical security fund payment with the treasurer's office. So that's my report for November 18th. And if anybody has any questions, I can try to answer them. Hello?
Fran?
Hello?
Yes, is the chairman on still? Oh, hold on a second, sorry. There was a little bit of feedback in Phil's presentation. So hold on one moment if you could.
Unmuted.
Yes, okay. I believe the chairman.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. There was a little bit of feedback, but Phil just actually finished his report.
Okay, my question to Phil is, what is the date of the swearing in for the two commissioners and the treasurer?
The swearing in, I believe, is the first Wednesday of January.
Okay, and does
That's,
Walter
that's
Timothy
January
have to be
6th.
notified to that?
Excuse me?
Does the clerk of Superior Court be notified of that?
Well, yes, if he's going to do the swearing in, yes.
Well, I imagine whatever Commissioner Shea and Commissioner Stady wants, I guess. Okay, thank you. Have any further comments on that, Commissioner Collins?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Shea?
No, thank you, Phil.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. The registry deed supplemental transfer request dated November 13, 2020. That will go into the supplementary budget for the budget committee. Is that right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I know we have the Register of Deeds on as well. But yes, we are preparing a second supplemental budget. And we've been waiting. Like as Phil just actually alluded to, we have a process underway with FEMA, again through the CARES Act. And in a meeting earlier this morning, we, you know, like in talking with other Norfolk County town administrators, you know, we have heard that the state, you know, has been a little slower. Like in FEMA is actually way behind, and how quickly they're turning around the requests. You know, and that's why we don't have a second supplemental budget at this point. But to that end, we did receive a transfer request from the Registry of Deeds last week. And at this point with this information, it is something that we will propose. I will propose in a second supplemental budget that I'll present to the commissioners either next week or the week after. But as I mentioned, I do know the register is on, and if he has anything specific to add, you know, I'm sure he's able to do it way better than I could.
Okay, is there any further comment from the registrar or from the commissioners?
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Hello, Commissioners and Commissioner-elect Stady. No, this is just kind of a, you know, I hate to say routine request. I know $50,000 is $50,000, but Group 3, we deal with a lot of expenses have come up. We've been tremendously busy here at the registry. I know the director has alluded to deeds excise money coming in at a good clip, but to give you a sense, we've had a 17% increase in documents from January to September, from 2020 over 29 and over 2019. And mortgages up 57%. So it's been busy, and because of the busyness, we're very fortunate. Norfolk County was the first registry, and there's only been a few of us that can do electronic recording on the land court side, as well as the recorded land side. But and those numbers have gone up. The land court has gone from 25% pre-pandemic to 60%, and on the recorded land side, it was 50%, and it's up to 80%. But because of that, there are costs. For instance, we got to, you know, the documents come in electronically, we got to print them. There's been increase in computer costs. There's been increase in disinfectant wipes and signage and masks. And so the request in Group 3 is a $50,000 request. I appreciate what the director said, and when it's time to get voted on, I think it should be voted on and then put before the advisory board because it's needed. And again, with the COVID situation, there have been increased expenses, and this group deals with our technology. You know, we have more use of the computers, more remote. You know, when we went to the team approach when it was bad, we went to remote, and commissioners, we may have to go back to that, the way the numbers are. But anyway, it would be very helpful. And as has been said by the county director, the deed excise has been flourishing, especially since July, even before July. And that's where this money would come from, the deeds excise monies. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them, and hopefully.
Any questions, Commissioner Collins?
No questions.
Any Commissioner Shea?
I will have a question, but without looking at the budget, which I don't have in front of me, I won't have it till next week. But I'll ask my question and submit it. It's going to be around the subject of, in your budget, Mr. Register, don't you have a category for technical support, or I don't know what the term is?
The technical support, that's for outside vendors and things like that. This request is for supplies. You know, the computer, you know, in Group 3, supplies such as software, scanner trays, photo conductors, paper, you know, believe it or not, paper, and toner. Toner has been the real big thing, because all those documents, Commissioner Shea, that are now coming in electronically, you know, we have to make copies of and things like that. So there's just been that. So what you mentioned is more, outside vendors that come in, they might work on the firewall or things like that.
Okay, I just want to separate the two, but I don't think it's our intention to hold it up long. I mean, we're going to
Oh,
get
no,
involved with
whenever
this
you vote on it, you vote on it.
supplementary budget.
Okay, what's the wish of the commissioners?
I'd like to hold it for 1 week, then. I'll make a motion that we table this until next meeting, and with an intention of probably voting it through.
Or do I have a
Okay,
second?
I have a quick question before we go into that. Bill, do you need the money right now, or can you wait a week?
Oh, no, thank you, Commissioner Collins. Thanks for your consideration. No, I mean, we're running towards the end, but no, we recognize it has to get voted and go to the advisory board, in due course. So it's not like we need it right now, but we're going to need it prospectively. But we can get by through the process, which is the commissioners vote and then it goes
Do I
to
have
the
a second on Commissioner Shays?
I'll second the vote to table and to be heard next week.
The motion made and seconded to table to request the transfer request from the Registry of Deeds until next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? There's a vote. Thank you, and thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Commissioners.
MassDOT, the next item, item 14, MassDOT on the easement, takes a vote of approval. You want to explain that, Director Mullen?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Chairman. As you mentioned, the Mass Department of Transportation is asking for your approval of a road alteration in Norwood. Get an easement taking in the town of Walpole as part of the Route 1A reconstruction project. We have run this by the County Engineering Department, and they are recommending approval, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, wait a motion, Commissioner Shea.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the 2 easement letters as dated. One is dated October 14th for a project in Walpole, signed by Walter Lynch, the Right-of-Way Bureau. The second one is dated November 10th for a project taking in Norwood, also signed by Walter Lynch, Deputy Director of the Right-of-Way Bureau, Mass Department of DOT.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded to approve the right-of-way easements as recommended by DOT and proposed by Commissioner Shea, seconded by Commissioner Collins. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. Thank you. Next, we have a schedule of a hearing on the alteration of portions of High Street in the town of Randolph. Director Mullen?
Yes, actually a few weeks ago, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, you received a petition from the town of Randolph in the area of High Street in the town, which is the area around the Lantana and Lombardos. And we've been working with the town. We've been working with Town Manager Howard and Christine Griffin, who is a Randolph Town Council, and the town. A few weeks back, they submitted the alteration petition. We have that. We've reviewed it with our engineering department. And at this point, we do have public advertising requirements that we do have to fulfill in both the Randolph Herald, like in the Milton Times, because it's right, or the area in question is right on the Randolph-Milton line. And at this point, we are proposing a public hearing on the 16th of December via Zoom. So what we're specifically asking is that you make a motion that the county commissioners hold a hearing on the petition of the inhabitants of the town of Randolph to alter portions of High Street dated November 17th, 2020, as shown on a plan prepared by CHA dated June 15th, 2020. Said hearing to be held on Wednesday, December 16th, 2020, at the County of Norfolk Administrative Offices at 614 High Street, Dedham, Mass. At 1:30 p.m. At that time, the commissioners will determine if a view is expedient. The notice of said hearings will be published in the Randolph Herald, like in the Milton Times. However, pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the governor's March 15, 2012 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, the public hearing will be conducted by remote participation, and particularly via Zoom, like in the advertisement. In the advertisement, we will make available, and make public all the remote participation and all the Zoom information as well, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, the chair will await a motion from commissioners.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we schedule a public hearing on the alteration of portions of High Street in Randolph as read into the record by the county manager previous. And the date is December 16th at a regularly scheduled meeting at 1:30 p.m.
Second.
There's a motion made and a seconded to schedule a meeting for the December 16th for the public meeting for approval of High Street in Randolph portion thereof. The alteration. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. I'll wait a motion for the September 20th trial balance for approval.
I'll make a
Any
motion,
comments
Mr.
on that,
Chairman.
Director Mullen?
Yeah, if I could, I just want to mention one quick thing. As you mentioned, you do have the September 2020 trial balance from the county accountant. And one thing you will see, like it is something that we deal with every year, is a cash flow issue with the Aggie school revenues. And this really all has to do in terms of a timeline when their tuitions come in, and their revenues actually flow in, on a cash flow basis. And we have been discussing revenue anticipation notes, as a way really to deal with this moving forward. But in working with the Abrams group as well, it's also an issue that we have brought up with the Abrams group as part of the analysis. Oh, and again, it's something we have dealt with and looked at. Like on a yearly basis. It is something that happens every year. However, where we are, and everything we are looking at, it's something that we're focusing on. And we're wondering, if we might be able to put some tools together, to be able to deal with it, a little more effectively. So with that, I do recommend approval.
The chair will await a motion for the September 2020 trial balance for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the September trial balance presented on today's agenda, dated 9/30/20, as presented for approval.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded to approve the September 2020 trial balance as presented by the director for approval. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. Thank you. The October 2020 registry revenues, do you have a report on that, Director Mullen?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chairman. And as the registrar had mentioned, the volume, in the activity at the Registry of Deeds has remained very, very strong, especially when you look at year over year. And if you look at the October 2020, report, it's clear we had another good month, or the registry had a really good month in terms of the volume. In terms of the recording fees, we were about $131,000 over projections. And the deeds excise fees, we were, and the numbers actually came in about $263,000 over projections. In 4 months into the year, especially heading into the winter, in the middle of a pandemic, our registry revenues are in a very, very, very strong place. So, again, I thank everyone. I thank the registrar, and all the staff at the registry. It's been busy. And I thank all of them, for the work that they continue to do.
Thank you, Director Mullen. Any further comments on the revenues, Commissioner Collins?
No questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Shea?
No questions. I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay.
Make a motion that we accept the October 2020 registry revenues as presented in today's meeting.
Second.
Excellent.
There's a motion made and seconded to accept the October 2020 registry revenues as presented by Joe DiOrio. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. As a report of the county director. Director Mullen, please.
Yes, I have a few things, Mr. Chairman. Number one, in terms of our work over the past week, in the past few weeks, it's been solar. It's been solar and more solar. As I think we all know at this point, we have a public hearing with the town of Walpole tomorrow night that we're preparing for. That public hearing is taking place at 7 p.m. And that hearing as well is taking place via Zoom. All the information has been posted on our website. There's an overview of the project that's been posted on our website as well. And it's been there for the last 3 to 4 weeks in advance of the public hearing. In addition, there have been people. There's been residents from the town of Walpole who have been emailing our office over the last 2 to 3 months. And we followed up with each of those residents. And we have worked to make sure that those residents are aware of the hearing. And they have the opportunity to present any feedback or anything else at the hearing that they would like to do too. So we've been busy preparing for that. Again, that hearing is taking place at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. We've been, I want to thank Nancy Rockwell for her work on the CARES Act and the FEMA reimbursement process. That work is ongoing. Actually, earlier today, I followed up with the State Office of Administration and Finance to check in on a CARES Act reimbursement submittal. I haven't heard back yet, but Nancy has also been working on following up on the FEMA reimbursements as well. Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, both processes have become actually quite a process. And we're waiting approval and we're waiting to really see what we are actually approved for in terms of our submissions. And then once we have that, we will then look, at exactly what has been approved by the feds, and by the Commonwealth. And then at that point, we'll go back to our departments, especially those who have upfronted in the spring and over the summer, and into the fall, like who have upfronted that funding, and see how we can work with them because, as the register mentioned, they continue to have needs. And we all continue, addressing this whole pandemic and the challenges that it caused, in a variety of ways. So that is what we're hoping to do. However, in order to do that, we do need to hear back on exactly what has been approved and not approved, and go forward from there. On a very exciting note, over the last 3 weeks, I believe, as you know, we have had bid openings for the building project for the roof, in the window replacement project at the Aggie School. Again, as part of the bond, and as part of our ongoing efforts with the MSBA. And I believe next week we will be ready. I'll actually to include on the agenda an intent to award a contract for that work. And that is exciting. And and that whole project has been a long time coming. And I'm excited, and I think the school is excited that we're ready to go. In the spring and summer as well. So I'm busy. As I say every day now, every day in 2020 is an adventure. But at the end of the day, we're doing good work. Our finances are in good stead. And we're working together to move the county forward. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much for that report, Director Mullen. Anything to add, Commissioner Collins?
Yeah, Mike, yes, thank you. Mike, I want to thank you and your staff. I know you're working really hard. So thank you for your good work, and I appreciate your report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Shea?
Not at this time. I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Stady, would you like to say anything in closing?
Dick, you muted.
Oh, he left, okay.
Here he is.
No, thank you. Very informative, more or less what I expected, but this was a great meeting to watch and listen. And again, looking forward to working with you all. So great job today. Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome
I'll see
aboard,
you later
Dick.
on.
So thank you.
Thank you,
Commissioner.
Chairman.
If there's nothing further to come before the Norfolk County Commissioners, I'll await a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion we adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded that the Commissioners adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is a vote. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.